Hello everyone, I'm Architect Naidu. Today I'll be discussing about building services, which is one of the important subjects and also one important field in the field of architecture. These topics which I'm trying to cover will be surely useful to students of architecture, but even the aspirants of architectural entrance exams like NATA and JEE Arch Paper 2, even those people can also refer to these videos, and I'm sure for them also these introductory lectures, the fundamentals would be useful. Today we are going to see as to what are building services, what do you mean by building services, and what are different types of services required for any building to make it functional. So as I just told you that these services are the facilities that are required to make any building functional. Even if we think that just by designing a building beautifully from inside and outside, the job is over, that is not the case. Along with the aesthetics of the building, proper and careful integration of the facilities like provision of water supply, sanitation, that is collection and proper disposal of the waste that is generated in any building, and also provision of electricity, and along with that of course few other services like the fire safety services, provision of air conditioning for a building, and along with that automation systems wherever it is required, uh, and of course the vertical movement for the vertical movement of people and goods in any building. We need lifts, escalators, and such facilities. So all these come under the purview of services. We need to understand as to what is the role of all the different types of services, and then in the videos to come ahead I will be also talking about the technicalities, the details of all the different types of services one by one. So let's take a look at what are different types of building services which are required for any building to make it functional. We can categorize these services into two, like essential building services and the advanced building services. Essential building services are water supply, sanitary services, sanitary engineering, and of course the electrical services. These are called as essential building services because this is the basic need without which any building cannot be made functional. Can we even think of using the building without having all these three facilities? Even out of these three, any one is missing, in that case also it will be just impossible for us to make the building into use. So therefore these three services are the essential services, also termed as lifeline services. Water supply deals with right from identifying the source of water. It can be the private source of water like maybe a well or say a bore well, like that, or we can procure the water supply from the government source, from the authorities also. So right from identifying the source of this till making provisions for storage of water underground and overhead water storage tanks, and from there distribution of water to all the places wherever the requirement is there, like in washrooms, in kitchen, and in garden, like that. So this whole thing comes under the purview of water supply as one of the important lifeline services. Sanitary services deal with collection and disposal, proper collection and disposal of all the waste that is generated in the buildings. When we talk about waste, it could be liquid waste and the solid waste. The liquid waste or the fluid waste is generated mostly in washrooms, and the solid waste is generated in places like kitchens, and also all the waste in form of like maybe polythenes or papers or wrappers, like that, all that also is categorized as solid waste. So all this kind of liquid and solid waste which is generated in buildings, there should be a proper provision for collection, separation, and then proper disposal of all the different types of waste in the that is generated in buildings. So all those things which are included and that are studied as part and parcel are put under the heading as sanitary services or sanitary engineering services. The third one is electrical services. In this, as we can use our common sense, that provision of all the lights, fans, and of course along with that all the various types of gadgets, electrical appliances, everything that we need, as much as we need air to breathe and water to drink, is under the purview of electrical services. How does the wiring go, and how do we connect different appliances, what are different heights at which we should place all these switchboards, and how to take care of concealing all this wiring so that the aesthetic value is retained inside and as well as outside the building. There are so many such things which are to be studied in this particular subject. So this is how all the lifeline services are put under the essential services, which are, because these are the basic needs. Apart from these lifeline services, there are few more other services which could be categorized under advanced building services as fire safety services. Then we can have HVAC services, then telecommunication services. We can also talk about vertical transportation services and building automation systems, as in BAS, building automation system, as one of the important services to automatize any functioning of various services that are integrated in building. So fire safety services basically deal with provision of the active and passive fire safety systems in buildings, like planning for escape routes and fire walls, fire escape staircase, and various other selection of building materials to make any building fire resistant, and of course the active systems like this sprinkler systems, various provision of various fire extinguishers, and how to plan all these things. All that is covered under fire safety systems. HVAC systems talk about provision of air changes, that is replacing the fresh air with the used air, inside air, and as per the need, wherever heating requirements are there, like in cold climates, we talk about various means of controlling the indoor climate in terms of by maintaining the indoor temperature a little bit on a warmer side. Then wherever there is hot climate or kind of high temperatures prevail, there we need to go for the control of temperature in terms of towards on a lower side of it. So just like that, conditioning the indoor air and controlling the indoor climate, all that can be dealt under HVAC systems. What are different types of mechanical systems available for us to handle this particular services and integrate these services with the building design. We need to study all about that. Telecommunication systems, like although nowadays mostly everything is getting wireless, but even for that wireless system also we need to like install a receiver, and from there one wire at least to be continued, and that travels inside to certain point, from where then everything could be connected wireless. So we can't totally avoid the wires. With the minimum number of wires, we need to plan out the things, all the electronic and of course the uh, different gadgets which are based on the wireless services. So for wireless, to avail those wireless services also, we need to properly plan it as to where we are going to place our receiver, and from there how the wiring would enter inside the space where the router is placed, and so on and so forth. So these all things, interrelated things, are to be studied in telecommunication system. Then for vertical transportation system, we need to understand the technicalities of installation of lifts, escalators and travelators, and what are the different brands available, how does it work, and accordingly like what type of building it is, and what are the norms that we need to follow while deciding the number of elevators and location of the elevators, escalators, and similar other things related with the vertical transportation. Even the elevators which carry the goods and certain material, all these elevators are also required in a building. So we need to think and consider about all these provisions and also the standards related with this. After vertical transportation systems, we can take a quick look at BAS, building automation system. This is related with conservation of energy also, because these systems are based on sensors. So automatically these systems get switch on and switch off, be it the fire safety systems, the sprinklers or fire buzzers or alarms. Soon after the levels of smoke or the temperature goes beyond a certain limit, the buzzers can automatically start, the fire alarms can start, the sprinklers can start functioning. So this is that way related to the efficiency levels and effectiveness of the working of various systems, that is various services, like also the electrical systems could be controlled by building automation systems. There are some computers which are programmed and planned accordingly to have a control, automatic control on switching on and switching off of the different electrical appliances, mainly in the public places where there may be some irregularity in terms of operating such systems. So thus we can very well achieve the efficiency in terms of using the various services without wasting the energy. In the field of vertical transportation systems, also we can think of BAS, automation. Uh, Automation works very well in the field of uh, safety and security of the building, like in terms of placing those security cameras, checking, checkout, and vigilance. Likewise, this automation system can function very well. Controlling of HVAC system could be done very efficiently by integrating building automation systems with HVAC systems. That when there is less crowd, the air conditioner can function with a less capacity. When there is more crowd or more people in the room, maybe in offices or maybe in malls, then the air conditioning can be done with the full capacity. So like that, automatically adjusting the levels of the functioning of air conditioners and other ventilation systems could be done by means of integrating building automation systems in this. So this is how today we have kind of taken an overview of all the different types of building services. And that's all for today. This was just an introductory class, and for more details, stay tuned, please.